Trump dropped the news theory, Trump drops new theory on why Jewish people and black people vote for Democrats in a stunning interview. The president, Donald J. Trump, offered his theory on why black people and Jewish people vote for Demon Democrats in a stunning interview with right-wing host Wayne Allen Roos. You know what I'm saying? In this one, you know what I'm saying? Trump did a phone interview, you know what I'm saying, on an episode of The Root Reaction on Real American Voice, during which he, you know what I'm saying, which he went deep into his, riff on Jewish people who voted for Demon Democrats, that voted for Demon Democratic people, right? That offended so many offended so many a few weeks ago. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But the connected Jew support for the Demon Democrats with that of support, you know what I'm saying, the black people as well, then, you know what I'm saying, support for the Democrats with that of the black people, and decide both groups simply cast their vote for creepy nutcase ass jackass wannabe book back bitch bum ass Biden and the Demon Democratic machine of racism garbage, you know what I'm saying, out of habit. No, not just out of habit. Good point, though, Donald J. Trump. You have it a smidget wrong. I mean, a smidget right. You know, in more ways than one, yes, but it's just a smidget. But to the smidget, the greater part of the smidget, this is a smidget, this would be the greater part. Coming up to the smidget, you see what I'm saying? Is it been instituted through education? No, it's been instituted through con games, miseducation, and misinformation is what you should be saying. So it was taught to them. Let's go back to LBJ. You know what I'm saying? John F. Kennedy and Nixon and what was going on. And what did LBJ say after all was bumped off and he was left holding the bag and end up the president in the chief of command the seat after bumping off? You know, but he didn't, I don't know if he was elected or real or whatever the fuck, but he was an idiot. But by bumping off Kennedy, he ended up presumably taking the seat. I wonder why. Oh, wow. But he was the one who said that we were not going to get nothing out of civil rights and we're going to do this. And he created a Black Caucus, jackass, dumbass. And their job was to go out and convince us, just like Margaret Sanger had the preachers and the different senators or whoever was involved with her garbage going out and telling people about abortion and aborting their babies so she could kill the black babies before they were born and kill the black race before they even had a chance to breed and replenish and so on. This is their little theory. So when you look at them voting Demon Democrat, that was something that was taught to them. You know what I'm saying? And when you have a race of people or races of people who were not born in that time, who do not know the con games, the slicking, and the bullshit that the Demon Democrats have done, and they hope that you forget it all, don't do no research, and just simply believe everything they tell you from here on out. So you will, you be convinced into voting. Many of these young people weren't born when I was born. Many of them didn't see what was going on when I saw what was going on. I'm 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me that you understand every single thing and casting your vote based on that itself. It is only based on what you've been taught. I'm black, so vote Democrat. This is a part of the Black Caucus dummy bullshitical radical fucking move serving LBJ stinking ass. And that goes out for many black civil rights leaders that were back then to now too. Not all, but the vast majority of them, and the ones with even more famous names that you know today. You know what I'm saying? But Donald Trump went on to say, Trumpy baby, they don't want to talk about the attack of October 6th on Israel because Joe Biden is no fan of Israel. That's a lie, Trump. Yes, he is. Because he has a lot to do with even creating it, just like NATO. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe Biden is no fan of Israel. The Jewish person that votes for Joe Biden does not love Israel and, frankly, shouldn't be spoken to. But in that statement that he's making, Trump needs to dig into more information into the overstanding of what he's calling Israel and Jews and so forth on before you make any statement. Like I said, many of your statements are not leading to an understanding in intelligent people. And intelligent people needs to look at the statements that you're making, because trust me, if Trump make one or two, Biden done made about 50, 100 of them incorrect, lying ass statement as well. This is not based on the fact that Trump understands everything, and maybe he do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when it comes to Israel, Trump, you know that something needs to be done with that. Nobody's falling for the fact that Israel is a state, a capital, or even a country in Egypt, in Africa. You guys got to cut that out. You know what I'm saying? Where Biden on one hand is saying and created and said we got to create an Israel back then before he even was a president, and anybody knew what his clock nut head ass was. You know what I'm saying? And so forth on. You know what I mean? And he was making these statements in government and stuff, and they went out and did this shit for real. You know what I'm saying? And fucking up the people of the region that were there before them. Same thing on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Many people believe that it's actually true, so they're going to go along with the fact of saying that it has a right to be there, and probably was involved in this in many ways through their Christianical belief that they have today. You know what I'm saying? Now when we look at it, we see Sir Isaac Newton calculate the precise date when the world will end. Yeah, Sir Isaac Newton to me was an asshole, an idiot, a jackass, and just was trying to get fame on his name. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck how many things he came up with or whatever the hell he was saying. Sir Isaac Newton was an idiot. What man in his rightful mind creates a nuclear bomb that he knows can annihilate the world in itself or displace the planet so badly that human life cannot exist here? And who, as an individual, is supposed to be so bright, will calculate the end of the world and when it will end? You're an idiot. Nobody, I don't respect Sir Isaac Jackass Newton, and I never will. And he was, to me, looking more like he was sweet Isaac Newton, if you ask me. And that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's in that bullshit with him. You know what I mean? And I'm getting tired of their so-called people who they look up to, you know, and saying, you know, some bullshit in itself. You know what I mean? Nobody is in that at all. Period. You know what I'm saying? You know? Nobody's in that with that, with a lot of that stuff. Let's just be honest. You know? Nobody. A lot of these prophecies and shit that they're making comes from, you know, a lot of idiotical people when we look at it. You know what I'm saying? Come from a lot of idiotic people that were back then, whose brains probably had some smartness to it maybe, but a lot of the shit they got from our people. You know what I'm saying? And they want to justify it by saying they know when this gonna happen and when that gonna happen. Yeah, you know when a lot of things gonna happen and when it is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we look at it in more ways than one. You know. You know. But we see we see here where um, we have this one coming in where I think I may have messed that up. I'm not sure. I think I did. But they were talking about hiring people to guard safe our country. We see the militaries throughout history, including some of the Ku Klux Klan chapters and Nazi brown shirts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're the ones that shot up the people in Muskogee. And Blakeman has taken a umbrage at the comparison according to Long Island Press. You know what I'm saying? He suggests that this is not only personal insult to me as a Jew, but it is a personal insult to humanity. You know what I'm saying? Well, tell that to Netanyahu. You see, when you talk from over here as a Jew, and then you see what you're doing over there and what you are doing here as well, and meanwhile you're in branches of government and then covering your behinds in many ways, it doesn't speak much of many things that many of them say. By executive order, Blakeman has assembled a list of more than 100 civilians he wants to train to act as special deputies, or what is essentially a backup police force. No, what is going to be listen, nobody in this country should be attacking anybody in this country. And as far as backup policeman is concerned, I'll volunteer for that one. You ain't got to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? But it cannot be solely used as a secret force or anything as a Gestapo on the people just because you feel that you are going to be attacked by the things that you are doing to the Palestinian people in things. So in this Blakeman, you seem to be running scared. That's what it seems like to me. You know what I'm saying? So you want a special deputies. If you want, I'll become the special deputy. You know what I'm saying? Or what is essentially a backup police force. All members are required to have firearms license, and Blakeman has said they would undergo background checks and mental health evaluation through though what either of those entail could be quite subjective. Yeah, so you don't want help. You want to discriminate and create a special group of dudes to go around and come and probably do racist shit to people as a Gestapo group. You know what I'm saying? When you ask me. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes on to say, God forbids there's an emergency. Do you want me to have to scramble at the point of trying to find people? No, because if you do it right and you did it right now, many people would come to arms, I'm sure, and be ready to police our state, our country, and this. But the racism garbage that you have projected on many of us, many are choosing and may choose to only be one group of people that would do that. You know what I'm saying? But all needs to be involved in this to turn what he's trying to turn into one situation into a situation that we so well need to protect our land that we call the United States. So, Mr. Blakeman, call me up. We got to talk. We see this Trumpy Long Island politician plans to deputize and arm civilians. You know what I'm saying? Any recap of that? A Republican politician on Long Island who just last week held an umbrella over the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, head at the wake of the slain New York City police officer, has come under fire over controversial plans to organize what critics contend is essentially a personal military. That's right. It's too personal. That's what's giving it away. This is an open season. This is open season to kill. Exactly. Barbara Powell, the president, and Barbara Powell is right. The president of Hempstead NAACP, which I don't always agree with at all, because they never to me fucking help me do any really thing when it comes time to really show and prove. And I'm not gonna run behind you, and then when I get there, you're telling me this and sending me on my way as a nigga that I am. You know what I'm saying? As you see it. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about the NAACP, you better step up and really show us as black Americans and as black people on this here who got some goddamn sense and wisdom that you really mean what you are trying to do. We need to see a whole lot more of your name and a whole lot more great results, because if the NAACP was so concerned, many of the things that happened to black American people in this country would have never gotten so far since the days of your organization being an organization at all. You know what I'm saying? But the branch declared on Tuesday, you know what I'm saying, at the rally protest in Nassau County, Executive Bruce Blakeman plans, you know what I'm saying, would involve the creation of a list of deputized armed civilians that can be deployed during emergency. Well, you can do that, but they cannot be deployed until there is an emergency, and the emergency can't be one of your Joe Biden creepy ass moves and faking a big ass shit, and next thing you know, you have this secret force growing and growing and rounding up black people and putting them in the gulag camps or the quarantine camps and so on, because it seems to have a connection somewhere. In March, Blakeman and Nassau County Sheriff Attorney Rocco or whatever his name is, I received that. The name sounds a lot. La Rocco, okay, but an ad on the county website for residents to apply to be provisionally emergency special deputy sheriffs, you know what I'm saying, according to the ad, you know, and deputized civilians, you know what I'm saying, must be skilled. Deputized civilian must be skilled in use of firearms and within 45 days of appointment must be trained and qualified to serve weapons, to service weapons qualified on service weapons and completely basic training at the academy in New York State penal law and use of force. You know what I'm saying? They'll receive $150. That's not enough money for that shit. Don't get yourself caught up over bullshit. You need to come up with more money than that. And stipend for every day on duty. You know what I'm saying? It say. You know what I'm saying? According to the news, Blakeman said at least 25 former law enforcement and military veterans are undergoing refresher courses and will be ready to serve as deputized civilians in 30 days roughly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody's really doing a lot of panicking. In one way this is good, and in another way it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really keep our eye on this one, you know what I'm saying, in all ways. But like I said, you know what I'm saying, I'll go under training and I'll be deputized. But I'm going to run it my way because I'm the sergeant at arms. And we don't need to see no extra killing by these individuals that call into play whenever you think that you're going to fucking come up against black people and our people and cause a mass confusion. You know what I'm saying? If you won't come with some righteousness under this law and whatever you're trying to impose, you better make sure that it's exactly what it's supposed to do. Because what happens is when you do these type of things and people get killed and people want to take revenge and people getting shot and this and that, guess who gets most of the blame? The black people defending themselves from y'all crazy ass. You know what I'm saying? Talking about defund the police. Resident applies to be a part of the program before March 31st deadline. Blakeman and Sheriff Liccardo tossed the legalities of their plans by citing New York County Law 655, which states for the protection of human life and probably during an emergency, the sheriff may deputize orally or in written such numbers of additional special deputies as deemed necessary. Okay, Like I said, let me know where to sign up. You know what I mean? I'll sign up. I sure will. I surely sign up. Because there's no more than it should be an auxiliary force, really, in all ways. You know what I mean? When we look at it, while you're talking all that nonsense, you see. But nobody in that, because we need to monitor anything that is brought out like this. You see? We need to monitor anything that is brought out like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to protests and shit like that, what you gonna do? Call them out to shoot up the people as well? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Blakeman have a good idea, but at the same time, we need to be able to really get a grip on this, and we need more black men on that deputized force that has the skills and the knowledge to protect the country, because it seems like many black people don't seem to want to respect the fact of what's going on in the world today, because they're too busy, doing the nonsense that is out there. Now, when we look at many things, we see Biden claims inflation was skyrocketing, you know what I'm saying? Skyrocketing when he took office. No, it was not. Inflation is caused. Inflation is orchestrated. Inflation is done by the books in more ways than one, and we call it but more what we call stealing. You know what I'm saying? So Biden ain't no more than a motherfucking crook. But inflation is caused when they inflate and deflate the market, or inflate and blow the debt ceiling and the roof wide open and do a whole bunch of spending and all type of executive laws and rules that causes inflation. Same thing like Bill Gates when he created those fake suns. And he put those fake suns in many different areas, shooting up all these, right? And now you have fake suns over Antarctica. You got a fake sun over the ice caps. You got a fake sun that's just sitting there melting the ice caps, and then they're going around talking about some global warming. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of fake suns that are put up all around this earth in certain areas to cause these global warmings to be. You know what I'm saying? And all they got to do is spread a certain chemical on the ground. With the sun hitting on that, it'll light a fire in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because you also have a thing called liquid fire. Jackass. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he claimed that inflation was, skyrocketing when he took office. That's a lie. We know that. You know what I'm saying? He caused the inflation. This is what demon Democrats do. They cause inflation and then turn around, say they didn't do it, and then try to come back and say they're offering a solution after they're the ones that caused it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Despite data showing opposite. Creep Joe Biden claims that inflation was skyrocketing when he took office, despite the data that's showing that he's a motherfucking lie.